Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crypto nerds of all ages, you know who I am. My name is Monty, and I am your crypto nerd. And this week, we're talking to my friend Hamilton. We're going to talk about real estate. We're going to talk about NFTs. We're going to talk about, I don't know, DeFi, maybe some marketplace action. Stay tuned. Hamilton, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you hopping on the Crypto Nerd channel. How are you doing today?
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, Monty. It's a pleasure to be here, and thanks for having me.
All right. So, I love talking about real estate. I love talking about NFTs. I love talking about anything that blends those two things together. And you've got a project called Liquid Earth. I'm really hoping we can just kind of dive into that because the audience is probably, curious and may not be familiar with your project yet. Can you give us a little background? What is Liquid Earth?
Yeah, Liquid Earth is a first of its kind NFT marketplace for real estate. The not metaverse real estate, but the real estate itself. Properties, condos, apartments, houses, ranches, raw land, you name it. If it has a deed, it can be NFT'd and brought into our marketplace.
I love asset-backed projects right now. Real-world asset-backed projects, not vaporware. I think that's really going to make a difference, and I see a lot of folks migrating to these type of projects now because they're less volatile. They can be seen as a hedge against some of the other volatility that we've seen. Was the timing of your project sort of, did you just get lucky? Because I think that people are going to be more drawn to these types of projects. Was there some, lead time in there that you just thought, well, this is a good idea no matter the market? What was the thought process when you created this?
Well, really, the thought process goes back to 2017 in the original ICO bubble. And, the thought leaders and innovators on our team were all part of crypto during that time. And so we saw, crypto go through the ICO bubble in 2017, 2018. And then into crypto winter. And we've been developing the concepts and ideas for the platform during this entire time. We started the platform development a year ago when we saw that crypto and DeFi was, really being adopted. And we thought, okay, now's the time that Web3 and crypto gets real asset-backed value. It's the next evolution of the ecosystem itself. It's where crypto meets mainstream. And as a financial ecosystem, it needs that hedge against volatility, like you said. And it also needs something really tangible that isn't vaporware, something that is agreed internationally, globally as having real value that can be in the ecosystem, easily traded, and something of real tangibility. And so that's why we ideated on the idea of solving what we thought of as one of the most complex problems, which was how to get real estate legitimately into the form of an NFT and then able to be traded internationally.
Okay. Talk to me about the name. Why Liquid Earth? What was the thought process there? There's usually a story behind the like a project or company name.
Yeah, well, the idea is Earth and real estate. While it's the world's largest asset class, it's it's not really a liquid asset. And so the idea was to convert as much of this incredible real estate value we can into a liquid asset, and that makes it instantly tradable on our marketplace. It's unbelievable. You can in one click buy that property, and so it becomes a liquid asset. It could literally be day traded. It's possibilities for real estate and reimaginations of real estate that have never been possible because of the amount of time that it would take to prepare a listing and go through a traditional closing. All of that's done on our platform up front. So now the NFT can be traded and the ownership associated with it traded in real time. So ergo Liquid Earth.
Okay, I love it. Now, there are a few projects that will provide, they'll tokenize your property. And, it's usually kind of like a crowdfunded type of a deal. And sometimes it's accredited investor, sometimes it's not. It's depending on, who's doing it and what their format is. But is there a significant difference between tokenizing something and providing an NFT marketplace like you're doing? And if so, why specifically NFTs? Does it make more sense to do it this way?
Yeah, I mean, we looked at, the different ways that people were trying to, solve this problem. And ultimately, we landed on the NFT because a single NFT allows the ability to represent a single property. And if you don't fractionalize the property and you don't bring in LLC and shares and things like that, you don't ultimately create a security, in our opinion. And so, we were really interested in maintaining the cleanliness and the sanity around the product itself, so that, we wouldn't be in any way, trading in securities in any, questionable way, or in the gray area in any kind of way. And so we saw that the NFT solution was ultimately the legal solution, the regulatorily compliant solution, and the right way to go.
Got it. So when we own the NFT, when we're trading the NFT, what do we actually own? Do we own a part of an LLC somewhere? Do we just own the NFT, which represents something else? Walk me through, sort of the compliance, or how. I mean, on the back end, what's the process? What are we actually owning and trading?
Yeah, so the NFT represents the ownership in the property and the ability to be able to pull the property out of the system and get the deed back into your own name, if that's something that you're interested in doing. So fundamentally, we have 3 proprietary mechanisms to be able to take the property and transform it into the NFT, so that when you trade the NFT, you're trading the legal rights to the property itself. And so if you hold the NFT, you'll be able to say that you own that property, and you'll be able to ultimately, if you want to, get the deed into your own name and pull it out of the system. If you leave it in our system, then obviously you have the rights to the property, you have use rights for the property, it is your property, and you can then ultimately trade it to somebody else and it becomes their property.
Got it. Who's the ideal customer? Are you looking for private owners who want to list their property this way? Are you looking for people that want to invest in properties? Are you looking for institutional style folks? Who are you looking for?
Ultimately, we're covering the entire real estate industry. We're in phase 1 looking for people that have clean title ownership over the properties, that are interested in being something novel and new, opening up to a whole new class of buyers that have done really well in Web3, and they're interested in being able to transact properties in the crypto space. And then as we move into phase 2, we're looking at adding non-recourse leverage to the platform and allowing people to get, peer-to-peer crypto loans to be able to help offset the cost of the properties themselves. And then in phase 3, we're launching a financial ecosystem that's based off of the ability for people to stake the NFTs and ultimately create asset backing for a series of tokens.
Interesting. Yeah. If you stake the NFTs, in theory, real estate has generally trended up. Even if it dips down for a little bit, the overall trend has been to increase in value. So I could see some value there. Now, are you tied together with a traditional title company who handles these through whatever the local regulations are as well? Is this sort of like a dual parallel system? How does that handled?
Yeah, when you go through the creation of the NFT, it takes about anywhere from 5 to 10 days, and it's all done hands-on. We have a white glove concierge service that walks you through with closing attorneys, that goes through the process with the government, with you. Like I say, it's a handheld process to be able to legally create the NFT. And then once you have the NFT, then it can freely trade within our system. Our system is a walled garden. The NFTs don't leave our system. And so it's a fraud-proof system. It's a protected system. And if there was ever any kind of tampering, we would have a record of the NFT being yours, that property being yours, and we could restore that at any time.
Got it. Okay. Now, are you multi-chain? What chain are you producing these NFTs on? I see you've got lots of partners across cross platforms.
Yeah, we're a multi-chain platform. We understand that, for right now, at least, crypto is really community focused and oriented on specific ecosystems. We respect, all of the ecosystems. Currently, we're an EVM compatible product, and so we can appear on EVM compatible chains. We're going to be launching our MVP on Phantom, and also then Ethereum, Avalanche, Algorand, etc.
Excellent. Okay. So when you first start up, there may not be a lot of users yet. How are you providing liquidity to transfer NFTs, or if somebody wants to come in and buy? It might take a little while to sell those first couple of properties. What's your expected interactions on the marketplace? How many properties do you think are going to be there?
Yeah, we're focusing on South Florida as the location for our launch. And what's really interesting about that area is one, the incredible crypto community that's already there, an NFT community, and then also really ideal kinds of properties. And so our goal is to actually partner with property developers that have pipeline. And so we're looking to actually bring on hundreds of properties of different kinds early on. We also are in partnership with other brokerages. And, we're testing the market right now to see how the buyers and sellers really respond and relate to this kind of product. So we have that kind of go-to-market strategy, and we look to bring on, hundreds of properties in the first quarter and then thousands of properties beyond that. We also have a very unique product, which, currently doesn't exist in the market. It's literally a new digital asset class for NFTs. And you have to flip the idea of I'm using an NFT to buy a property to I have an NFT that's backed by this much land value. And so we're actually creating, it's a much smaller amount of land value. So we're really looking in the hundreds of dollars to small numbers of thousands of dollars, where I can say this NFT is backed by that deeded property. It's a raw piece of land and it's worth $3,000. And now I have this instrument that everyone can agree is, within 5-10%, it's worth that $3,000. And so we're looking to onboard lots of those kinds of pieces of land onto the property and really create a trading environment for those NFTs.
Got it. So you're looking at single family residence and open lots?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, got it. Now you mentioned brokerages just a minute ago. I had assumed for whatever reason that your plan was to cut the brokerages out, but maybe that's not the case. Will you still have real estate agents who are assisting people to list their property via the NFT platform and still make their 3% cut somewhere?
I think the platform, is a disrupt in its own right, but the goal isn't to disintermediate the industry. The industry is one of the largest industries globally, and everybody in it has their own importance and their own right. There already are marketplaces that allow, peer-to-peer transactions. There's, for sale by owner or FSBO, et cetera. And so really the goal here is to, facilitate the liquid trading of the real estate itself. And so, some people are happy to do this without there being an agent, and they're already looking for ways to do that. There are other people that want that white glove concierge experience. They want somebody to, assuage any doubts or concerns. They need somebody to do due diligence on the properties. They might be buying a property now that it's possible, with this instantaneous buy feature somewhere else in the country or somewhere else in the world. They need somebody to look it over. They need somebody to really assure them. Maybe they do a video chat, video Zoom. And so there we actually offer an opportunity for the buyers and sellers to pick an agent and to negotiate their own commission structure. So maybe for some of them, the commission structure would reflect traditional real estate. And maybe in other cases, they would negotiate a different kind of deal because they need a more bespoke service specifically related to this kind of NFT, buying and selling.
Got it. It leads me to a couple more questions.
Sure.
The NFT themselves, is it a photo or 3D walkthrough of the property, or will some of those will you have a walkthrough? A traditional site, maybe you might get some sight unseen buyers, but they are generally speaking, they want some type of a kind of a walkthrough or a more detailed visual representation. How's that handled?
I think one of the most interesting things about what's happening now in the expansion of technology and capacities, technological capacities, is this idea of, being able to show much more accurate renditions of properties, in a digital format. And so one of the most interesting things I see is, this expansion into real-time 3D rendering that is, now possible through cloud computing that wasn't available over the last years. It's being implemented now mostly in gaming and other kind of augmented reality or VR environments. But ultimately, we're going to be able to bring in that kind of technology so that somebody can have a real life experience of touring the property as if they were there. And I think I've seen it also in different kinds of metaverse applications and stuff like that. But ultimately, someone is going to be able to, through our platform, have a real tour of the properties and get that vibe and feeling of being in them and what it would be like to own them. Starting out, it's a much more basic implementation where we're going to allow 360 videos and a gallery of photos.
Got it. I think South Florida is a perfect market for that, right? You've got the mayor of Miami who's taken his pay in algorand and Bitcoin, and the community has really sort of embraced blockchain. So it's a good spot to start. What are the expansion plans for you? You know, what's next after that? There's a couple of other crypto type hubs. You know, Austin comes to mind. You know, maybe I don't know, maybe a Boston or something like that. What kind of plans do you have?
Well, our plans are to go nationwide and then global in all of the countries that have rules and regulations that allow for this kind of transfer of ownership of properties through NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we really see this as a platform that's going to grow organically. It's user driven. And so, you know, we're interested in seeing where the community really embraces this at first in terms of early adoption, and then second phase adoption. We are looking to expand to cities like Austin and LA, Boston, New York, et cetera, Chicago, you know, really around the country and all of the major, you know, centers where people would embrace this product. We think it's an exciting product. It's from personal experience, having purchased real estate and going through that, you know, arduous, long process. And for a lot of people, it's unknown. So there's a lot of anxieties and concerns, you know,
Yeah.
knowing that that is all taken care of up front. And when you purchase that property, it's now yours. It's instantaneous. I think is going to be really interesting to, you know, homeowners. And, you know, we're excited to see where people embrace this.
Got it. Yeah, I agree. Now, Miami is not known for their inexpensive property prices. So, will there,
Especially now.
right? So, is there an opportunity to finance an NFT through a purchase like this, or could we borrow against it in the future? How does financing work? Is there anything available in that realm right now? Seems like a natural kind of progression.
Yeah, our MVP launch will not have leverage, but then our next phase will. And so I'd say within 60 days of our launch, which is in about 45 to 60 days, there will be the opportunity to be able to use the NFT that you're purchasing as collateral to be able to get a loan. And you know, it's really interesting in crypto that you have the opportunity to offer non-recourse leverage, which is something that, you know, isn't typical for the real estate industry. So to
Yeah.
be able to just through the platform itself, look at a property, you know, say, I'm interested in this property, I need a loan, immediately through the platform, get the loan, immediately be able to buy the property and apply the NFT in a form of staking that NFT to be able to get the loan is what the platform will offer.
Got it. So, do you have some providers in mind already? Have you sort of started to make those bridges happen? Are they DeFi applications, or is this some sort of a traditional lending institution that's sort of dabbling into this world now?
Yeah, for now we're keeping it strictly crypto, and we're talking to different DeFi lending platforms and, you know, liquidity providers to be able to provide the other side of the leverage.
Got it. Okay. Man, that is really interesting because it's one of the things that gives people the most anxiety. Like they find their dream home, they search for it, they find it, you know, it's the right school district or whatever the case is, and then the financing comes, and the financing takes another 30, 45, 60 days, and you know, that's like pulling teeth. That's you know, drawing blood, it's getting really personal, and there's a lot of ways for things to go wrong there, and that is the part of the process that really people are, you know, put off by, you know, the most, I think. So if you can simplify that and tie it into this marketplace, I think you've got a winner there. But that's not always just like having a great product isn't always enough, unfortunately. What do you think is actually needed for this to go mainstream, for it to really kind of catch fire and changing behavior, consumer behavior? Not just you know, buyers, but sellers at the same time, and maybe even real estate agents, and then trying to figure out, okay, there's a title company somebody wants to use, or you know, whatever local regulations. Like that's a lot to handle all at once. What do we need to do to get this, you know, really moving?
I think that's the, you know, path that we've been on, is to really solve all of those problems up front. So
Hmm.
as a group and as a company, that's what we've done over the last year is, you know, create those inroads and create those relationships to make that really ultimately easy for the buyer and the seller. And so I think it's just a question of if somebody wants to take advantage of the opportunities that the platform will provide them, which I think are, you know, fundamentally, you know, incredible and positively disruptive uh, for the people who participate. There's ultimately more value and more simplicity in, you know, transacting property in this way. And so I think that those efficiencies that we provide are ultimately going to be a big winner for the platform users. And then, it's also a buy-in from the real estate industry. It's also the industry realizing that there is a transition that's coming in the future, and to embrace that transition. Every single industry has ultimately evolved, and I think it's an incredible opportunity for real estate to evolve as well. Considering the crypto side of it might at first be novel, but if you're transacting in stablecoin and you're transacting, in a way that starts to be adopted by more people, it becomes easier to explain and understand. We're going to have a certification program so that agents can get certified in how to be able to explain this kind of transaction through an NFT, and how to be able to properly advise their clients. And so we think through those means, this is something that the agents will embrace, very, very quickly. And also, in the beauty of crypto, there's the reward programs that they can receive, which can ultimately translate into more value. So there's, more value for the users, there's more value for the agents, there's more value for literally everybody, and then the incredible efficiencies that are created.
Yeah, it really is a lot more efficient. I could see sort of, maybe some consolidations among agents and title companies, and even like, mortgage companies, finance type companies. They'll either need to adapt, or they just won't have as much business, I think, as market share is taken up by transactions like this. Speaking of transactions, is the entire thing handled in crypto, including payouts to the home seller? At any point in time, do you facilitate transition back to fiat?
That's something that we're discussing. As a platform itself, we're not a money transmitter. So we're actually talking to other partners to be able to help the crypto to fiat transactions for the people that, aren't interested in crypto itself. For obviously crypto native users, they're interested in transacting in crypto. And so we're going to be, testing the MVP purely in crypto, and then we're going to be starting to facilitate the movement from crypto to fiat, but not ourselves. It'll be done through a third party.
Got it. Now, the first couple of big splashy NFT home sales have happened already. Michael Arrington sold one of his condos, I think, and I think it might have been in Miami. Made kind of some national headlines. And I'm wondering, are your first couple of transactions going to be sort of that PR type of, kind of novelty? Or do you think your first couple of transactions are going to be, typical users through this partnership that you've kind of alluded to here with, an agency that could plug in, hundreds of thousands of properties right away?
Well, we're interested in, first testing the product with this idea of the land NFTs. So we're interested in the, asking the person, the new user, the first users to come to the platform to dip their toe in the water and see how this thing works, and see what an incredible novel digital asset class this NFT is. And then, we'll have some single family homes and stuff like that on the platform as well. I don't claim to know what front runner will be the product that people adopt first and really get behind, but I would like to see literally all different kinds of houses and products get sold through the platform. I understand the idea about the big media blitz and the mega mansion sold once, but that really is a one-time headliner, and then boom, what comes after?
It's not sustainable.
What's the desire? And so it'd be great to be able to see some national headlines about what we're doing, and it would be great to transact some homes that deserve those kinds of headlines. But really, the bulk of this is just a better product for real estate, and it's a better product for Web3 users and crypto native users. And so we're really interested in seeing lots of people adopt this platform, lots of people adopt this new way to be able to transact real estate, and then this really novel NFT product where we see thousands of them being able to be traded a day, and people really desiring to have this new financial instrument.
Excellent. I got to tell you, Hamilton, very often I see folks who want to tokenize or put something on the blockchain or make something an NFT because it's kind of a, kind of a buzzword type of a deal, and they want that attention. But it doesn't necessarily work better. But I legitimately believe that a large scale transaction like real estate or land, like the ability to clearly identify the chain of ownership, the ease of the transaction. It's much less friction that goes on, especially if you can bolt on some type of a DeFi mortgage application. I legitimately believe that blockchain in general is just going to offer a better user experience. And that, I think, like, we just need to get the word out about that. And whether or not it's an $8,000 lot or a $2.8 million, condo, I think like the process is the same. And so the ease of use that person has when they're buying that empty lot could very well lead to, them buying their next single family residence and what have you, and kind of just being a loyal consumer after that because they enjoyed the process. That's what I'm looking forward to is, those customer reviews. You get those reviews and it's a 5-star review because, the process was so much easier. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I've done a number of demos of the platform now, and when we get to the buy part of the experience, the response unilaterally has just been wow.
Yeah,
just literally wow. And it's because of the friction-free nature of the transaction. You hit click, you see the property being written to the blockchain and the transaction being written to the blockchain. Takes a few seconds for the finality to be registered, and then there it is. You get the recognition that the property has been transacted, and it is literally that fast. And I'm in agreement with you that true utility is what the blockchain needs. True real value asset backing is what it needs. Moving beyond the proof of concept, which has been global and amazing, but all the vaporware projects ultimately will be seen as a form of vaporware. And what we're interested in is something with true asset backing, real value, and bringing that to the Web3 ecosystem. We think this is an incredible disrupt and something that is going to have real long-term potential.
Fantastic. All right. So Hamilton, people can find you liquidearth.io. There's an opportunity to sign up for the whitelist right now, so people can drive there and sign up. You're launching in Q3, correct?
Yep. Yeah,
right.
Come to liquidearth.io. If you whitelist now, you'll get FYA bonus tokens, which is our reward token in our system. And, we're onboarding users and we're taking them through demos and explaining the platform to them. And if you have a property that you would like to mint into an NFT, whitelist with us. And if you would like to get into our buyers club, whitelist with us as well. We'd love to have you. And we look forward to a magnificent NFT future.
All right, fantastic. Well, I appreciate you stopping by the channel today. We've got a whole series of real estate blockchain activities and projects, and this is one to look out for. I'm hoping you'll come back after launch or right around launch time, Q3, in another month or 2 months, and we can see how things are going, okay?
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to be back on the podcast. Thank you so much, Monty. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today, and thanks so much.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks for tuning in, and as always, I am your crypto nerd.